Hello everyone, today I propose that you knit this winter snowman for our children. You are in the knitting studio in style. The hat is very easy to knit, therefore, I decided to film an express masterclass and just explain in detail how I knitted it. I think this hat will suit both boys and girls. But the moment is that here I sewed on the pom-poms. If it's for boys, I think it's still better to make braids instead of pom-poms. After all, with pom-poms it looks somehow more girly, I guess. Therefore, friends, I will not show how to make braids here. I have many hats where I made braids. Here is one of them. You can go check how exactly to make and sew braids here. Beautiful, right? If you're knitting for a boy, for girls it's probably better with pom-poms since it looks more interesting. But that's up to your discretion. Braids, in principle, will also suit girls. So, everything here is very simple. You need to knit the hat, make a ribbing, and create pom-poms. You need to know how to make pom-poms. 2 half beads, a bit of black thread, and a little bit of orange thread, yes. Well, I decorated it with such a snowflake button. I used gazelle baby wool yarn. I needed about 100 grams for the hat. That means half should be blue yarn and half white, about 50 grams each probably. Yes, gazelle baby wool is 50 grams, 200 meters. 40% merino wool, 40% acrylic, 20% cashmere. I really like this yarn for some reason. So, I used a hook size 3.5. The color I have is 820. This was the blue color. And the white is 801, if anyone is interested. I knitted with 2 strands. I knitted this hat for a head circumference of 48 centimeters. But I added 1 centimeter. I knitted for a head circumference equal to 49 centimeters. Since I plan to sew in a lining here, I've also made a separate video on how to make a fleece lining. Please take a look. If you need a lining, before any knitting, as usual, we take measurements and do calculations. I have shown this more than once. I will show it now as well. Here's a chart. It is available online. It is very convenient. It contains all the data. If you don't have the opportunity to find out the child's head circumference, you can get an approximate head circumference by age here. And additional data necessary for knitting this hat. I believe you can easily find this chart online. Just take a look. I have roughly written all our calculations. That is, the head circumference is needed. Of course, it is best to measure it on the child. But, if that is not possible, you can use this chart. It roughly corresponds to the measurements. Yes, so let's find out the child's head circumference. In my case, the child's circumference is 48 centimeters, but I knitted for 49. Since I plan to have a lining, therefore, the head circumference is 49 centimeters. We divide by pi 3.14. This gives us 15.60 centimeters. That is our bottom diameter. We will knit the hat from top to bottom. And this is the bottom part. Yes, where we will make increases. Our diameter should be 15.60. We figured out the bottom diameter. Next, we take the head circumference. We divide by 3 and add 2 or 1 centimeter. If the cap is a little larger, we add 2. I will add a little 2. If the cap is smaller, then 1. I got 1830. This is the depth or height of the cap. That is, from the top to the bottom. If you cannot measure with the cap that fits the child well, you can measure this height. Like this, these are all the measurements we need. I also wrote right here that this is the elastic. We will knit this part with an elastic pattern using raised and recessed stitches with a yarn over, and it will be 3 centimeters tall. The total height of the cap is 18. We subtract 3 for the elastic, which gives us 1530 centimeters, or about 15 centimeters. Next, we divide these 15 centimeters by 2, which gives us 7.5 centimeters, so 7.5. I need to knit with the blue yarn and 7.5. Knit with white? I don't know, you can adjust it a bit. You can knit a little bit more white, for example, or vice versa. Well, see how you like it? I did it like that. After this, we start knitting the cap. We begin to knit the cap, right from this spot. From the top, that is, we form a magic ring. In the magic ring, we knit 12 double crochets. After this, we will make increases in each row, resulting in 12 more double crochets. Since we initially cast on 12 double crochets in the ring, there were initially 12 double crochets in the ring. In the second row, there should be 24 double crochets, meaning we made an increase in each stitch of the first row. In the third row, we will alternate 1 double crochet with an increase, 1 double crochet, increase. The fourth row consists of 2 double crochets and an increase, 3 double crochets and an increase, 3 double crochets and an increase, and so on, meaning that in each subsequent row, the number of regular double crochets between the increases will increase. I believe you know how to crochet if this is not your first project. Yes, and we will continue making increases until the diameter of the bottom reaches 13.6 centimeters. Way, stacks. That is, we subtract 2 centimeters from the required diameter, or do not complete one row. In my case, it is 13.6 centimeters. After that, what do we do to ensure a smooth transition from the base to the straight fabric? Here, we split the increases from the last row into 2 rows. That means 6 increases in one row. In the last row, we will make not 12, but 6 increases. And in the next row, which should be straight, we also make 6 increases. I have 7 rows related to increases. This means I did not finish one row to reach the required diameter. 7 rows make up my 13.6 centimeters. After that, watch what I do. The 8th and 9th rows. The 8th row means in. In the 7th row, I had 84 double crochets. So, in the 8th row, I divide 84 double crochets by the 6 increases we will make in that row. This gives me 14, meaning I have an increase in every 14th double crochet. In the 8th row, there were 84 double crochets from the 7th row, plus 6, 90 double crochets should be in the 8th row, moving on to the 9th row. The number of double crochets in the 8th row is also divided by 6 increases. That means 6 plus 6. 12 increases we actually should have had in the 8th row, but we split them into 2 rows. This means the number of double crochets in the 8th row is divided by 6. It results in 15. Thus, in every 15th double crochet, we have an increase in the 9th row. In total, there were 90 double crochets in the 8th row. We add 6 increases. This gives us 96 stitches in the 9th row. Thus, we have finished our increases. After that, we need to knit straight. I knitted straight in ribbing for 3 centimeters. After that, I switched to white yarn and knitted 8 rows with the white thread. Just straight, that is about 8 centimeters. And I will mention regarding the joins. You can join the rows by turning the fabric. In this case, the seam will be even, and the fabric will be slightly textured. I did not turn the fabric here, and joined with an unconventional method. Now, look, in one row, for example, I crocheted my first stitch into the chain of the first row. In the next row, I did not crochet into the chain, but knitted a little further. And I alternated this in each row. The chains count in the total number of stitches. That's it. We have knitted to the required depth of the hat. In my case, that is approximately 18 centimeters. And do not forget that we will also have a border of about half a centimeter. Yes, After that we knit these ears. For this, we fold the completed hat so that the seam is in the center. Yes, we fold it and turn the hat to the right side, where the front should be. Yes, and we check that we have about 1 to 1.5 centimeters at the edges. And here we mark with a marker, here and here. From the edge, 3 stitches, and we mark with a marker. Then from the marker towards the seam, over here, yes, I count. In this case, I counted 15 double crochets. You can count. For example, 11, 13, 15, 17. Depending on the thickness of the yarn and the size of the hat. In my case, I counted 15 double crochets. At 15, I placed the marker. Similarly, from the opposite side, we count 15 stitches from here and mark them. The width of the ear is approximately 7 centimeters. After that, we look from behind the seam to ensure we have roughly the same number of stitches here and here. You can adjust it a bit if anything is askew. Yes, then move the markers to ensure the distance is the same here and here. Accordingly, we have 15 double crochets here. Next, we will work in rows. This is how we begin to knit. Turning the fabric and decreasing 2 double crochets in each row. That is, in the first row, we simply knit 15 double crochets. The chain stitches count towards the total number of stitches. Next, we move on to the second row. Let's say yes, we knit the second and third stitches together on one side and the second and third on the other side. That is, 2 stitches together with a shared top. Here is a lesson. See how to decrease stitches and how to knit 2 stitches together with a shared top. That is, I did not touch the edge. I knitted the stitches normally to keep the edge neater. I decreased the second and third stitches on both sides. Thus I decreased 2 stitches in each row. In this way, we decrease until we have 5 double crochets left here. Then look, we have 5 left, yes. We make 2 chain stitches, turn the work. That is, we move to the next row. So, 2 chain stitches will be our first stitch. Then, the second, third, and fourth. Thus we knit the next 3 stitches together with a shared top. We do this the same way as with 2 stitches, but now, 3. Here, the last stitch is normal. As a result, we should have 3 double crochets from 5. After that, we close with an ear loop and cut the thread. We will also knit the second ear. After that, we do the edging. We edge with single crochet using white yarn, placing the wrong side towards me. I prefer it this way. We just edge all the way around. At the corners I work 2 single crochets. Here, you can work 2 or 3, just ensure it flows smoothly. Yes, the edging should look nice. That's it. After this, we need to do one more thing. We need to make pom-poms. Here is my blue and white pom-pom. I decided to make it here and white ones here. The white ones are a bit smaller, the blue one is bigger. How we will make the pom-poms? Look, here I showed how I do it. Very simply and quickly, pom-poms are made by hand. I'll just mention the sizes. Regarding these small ones, the white pom-poms are a bit smaller. Here, I did 40 turns with a double white thread. In this white and blue pom-pom it's a bit bigger. Here I used 35 white and 35 blue yarn. This was also made by hand. Here, fingers spread out fully to make it a bit bigger. If fingers are a bit closer together. After this, we sew our pom-pom and small pom-poms to the top. We sew it onto the front side right here. If you're thinking of making braids, check out my other tutorials with different hats where I make braids. That's it. After this, we embroider the mouth, attach the eyes, and knit the carrot as we embroidered the mouth. Basically, I think you can manage on your own. You'll embroider. Yes, secure the thread and embroider. I also have detailed instructions in the Teddy Bear Hat Masterclass. I embroidered there too. You can take a look. So this should not be difficult, I think, as I showed. The carrot is made with a 2.5mm hook, so it is a smaller size. I used a hook. The width is 2.5. Here is approximately 4 centimeters for your reference. So as I knitted the carrot, I cast on 8 chain stitches plus 1 chain stitch. Next, I knit a single crochet in the chain stitch, then an extended single crochet. Then again an extended single crochet, followed by a double crochet, and another double crochet, which is an extended double crochet. Once more, an extended double crochet. After that, I made 2 double crochets with 2 yarn overs. In other words, you see, I gradually increased the stitches from the chain stitch, so that they turned out this tall. Therefore, I ended with 2 double crochets with 2 yarn overs. After that, I finished the whole thing with single crochets. In the corners I made 2 single crochets each. I hope you understood. And what remains is to sew such a button on here. That's all, friends. A snowman cap is knitted. If this masterclass was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe, and knit with joy for your kids. May they be the most noticeable and the cutest kids in the world. And all of you, happy knitting, love, warmth, and inspiration. See you at the next masterclass.